Welcome back to IceMen Live. We are here at Beef O'Brady's and presented by Coors Light, and we are now joined by IceMen forward Kevin Harvey. Kevin, it's great to have you here.
Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Kevin, how you doing today?
Oh, not bad.
Excellent. Well, glad to hear you're doing well. Obviously, got your first goal in an IceMen uniform on Saturday night. Just talk a little bit about that play and what it's like to get the first goal in front of these fans.
It felt good. I mean, it was good for my line to get going. Just a good forecheck, and then fortunate for myself, Hobbs took a shot and it kind of hit me in the groin and went in. So it's, you can't score pretty ones all the time. So I mean, to get on the board early and this early in the season, it's good for a guy like me.
Great goal there, even though it hit you in the groin. Obviously, a big goal as that tied the game up too. I'm just talking about the momentum you felt the team had after that goal.
Well, I mean, the first period was a little slow. It's been tough, the schedule so far, just not playing 2 games a week, and it's just tough to stay mentally prepared all week. And then we went into the game on Friday. I thought the first period was a little sluggish, but there was a few shifts there early in the second. You could feel the momentum start to come back our way, and it was a couple big hits, a couple good little soft plays in the neutral zone that made things different, and we started to roll, and then we got on the board and we just started climbing from there.
You mentioned the big hits. You obviously dealt out a few of those. You have the reputation of being a big hitter. Is that something that you take pride in?
Well, I mean, that's a big part of my game. I mean, I'm not a guy that's going to turn away from checks. I try to finish everything just to open up space for the guys I'm playing with.
Mentioned those guys you're playing with, Sulek and Hobbs. How have you felt with that lineup so far?
I mean, we got a lot of energy. We're just trying to have fun out there. I'm 30 years old. I'm actually having fun playing the game again. It's good to look beside me and see 2 young guys just enjoying the game, and it only elevates me to play a little bit harder.
Now, you're a guy who's played all over the world. How do you feel the crowd here in Evansville compares to a lot of the places you've been?
I mean, the energy in the building only helps us play even harder. I mean, you come into the building, the Ford Center itself is a great facility, and then it just adds to the hype just playing in front of the fans that are behind you every night.
Like I said, you've played all over the world. Where are some of the favorite places that you've played, and just kind of the differences that you've seen from those places to North American style hockey?
I've been fortunate to, I played in Slovakia. I won a championship there in the Extra League, and got to live in a beautiful city, Bratislava, which was, it was a different atmosphere. It was a real eye-opener to see a little bit of the world. And then I was in England last year. I mean, England was okay. The coach we had, I didn't learn very much, so I thought it was a good idea to get out of there. My first 2-year pro, I played in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and probably hands down the best place I played. You could go to the rink in the morning, it'd be snow on the ground. By 1 o'clock, you'd be out golfing. And, it was just, I was young then, and I was just living the dream. So, I mean, I've been fortunate the last 3 years. I worked for a charity, Stop Concussions, and the first year they took us to Amsterdam. Went to Amsterdam, played a couple games there, and then the last 2 summers I've been to Australia twice. Last year for a month, so played for Team Canada, and Australia's got to be one of the favorite places on the list.
What are the differences? You hear a lot of talk with players that go over to Europe. What would you say the biggest differences are playing in Europe compared to North America?
I mean, England, you couldn't hit. Every time I hit, I was in the sin bin. So, I mean, Slovakia was a high-skilled league. Yeah, here we consistently break out. It's hard to break out of our own end. There, it was just you ran routes. It was almost like you didn't stop. So, majority of the time, I'd do 3 or 4 laps around our defensive zone, and they'd hide behind the net, and I was so tired I had to go off. So, I mean, it was just really high-skilled. I'm sure Sully could speak to, like the Czech players, the same thing. They don't like to slow it down. They like to get a lot of speed, and they keep putting it back if they get trapped up. So it's a lot of skating. I mean, my skating got a lot better just from playing in Europe.
What would you think if the leagues such as the ECHL, the American Hockey League, went to the bigger rinks?
Well, I mean, there'd be a lot more goals. There wouldn't be as much hitting for the fans. So I think we'll keep the small rinks in North America.
All right. Now you mentioned Australia. Now that's somewhere that I don't really know as much about the effects of hockey out there. I'm just talking about the fans out there and kind of the experience of playing out there. Since I didn't know Australia was a hockey hotbed.
Well, for the last 2 seasons, they've put on a thing for concussion awareness and to kind of give Australia an idea of what hockey is. So the first year we went to Melbourne and Sydney, and we sold out both buildings, 25,000 people. So, and then last year we had the privilege of playing the Rod Levers Arena in Melbourne, and that's where they have the Australian Open in tennis. It's probably the most historical building in Australia. So we sold that out, and then we sold out in Sydney another 25,000 people. So it sold out in 4 minutes. And to be honest with you, they probably have no idea what's going on, but they like the fights and they like the hits, and it was pretty cool to see. And Australia's had a player, Nathan Walker, who was out of Sydney, that was drafted by the Washington Capitals in the 3rd round. So, who knows? 15 years from now, you might be seeing more and more players coming out of Australia.
That's a very interesting thing there, because like I said, I didn't know that Australia was growing as hockey down there.
Well, yeah, they're just trying to promote the game of hockey all over the world, right? I think hockey is probably the most entertaining sport in the world, and for a fan, the first time you see it, if you've never seen it, you're hooked right from the start. So I believe that it's only going to build, and it's only going to build all over the world.
I don't think anyone here would argue with you that hockey is the most exciting sport, right? Now you mentioned your cause of Stop Concussions. Tell us a little bit about that cause and how people can get involved with that.
It's Keith and Wayne Primo, 2 ex-NHL hockey players. Keith himself has struggled from post-concussion, and the charity itself just is a charity that's promoting concussion awareness, and the research goes to, a lot of the money raised goes to researches for concussions. There's not a lot to know about concussions nowadays. It's starting to come in. People are finding more and more out about it. And for myself to be a part of that and, go and play for Team Canada and, knowing the money goes to that cause is great.
It sounds like a great cause, and if people here wanted to support that, how would they get involved?
StopConcussions.com, and I'm sure there's a link on the website to donate some money.
All right, well, that sounds like a fantastic cause. Switching gears a little bit, you mentioned playing out there in New Mexico. Just tell us a little bit about that experience when you kind of came in as a rookie.
Albuquerque was, the hockey market wasn't that great, but I was fortunate enough to play for a coach, Ray Edwards, and, I was a young punk coming in, and he just let me play my game, Back-to-back years, I think I led the league in fights. I was trying to prove myself as a player, and I was fortunate enough that as the years went on, he let me play, and I put up some numbers, and the following year I ended up in the American League. And it was, just from him riding me and, letting me play my game and establish as a pro.
Yeah, they have some great food out there in Albuquerque, right?
Yeah, they had some good breweries, distilleries. Turtle Mountain was a good one.
Yeah.
Did you play in the new building or the old building out there?
We played in the Santa Ana Star Center, the new one.
In the middle of nowhere, basically, in Rio Rancho.
Yeah, in the desert. I thought I was going to get buried the first day they took me out there.
Well, I mentioned the food out there because I wanted to segue into, we have the nutritionist from the Ottawa Senators coming in tomorrow. What are you guys' thoughts on that and how nutrition plays a part in this game?
I wasn't big on it until I had a roommate, Jordan Petrus. He, so 3 years ago, I lived with Petey, and I used to watch him for the first couple of weeks when I lived with him. We'd go to the grocery store, and I'd be like, "Why are you buying that?" And then I'd think, I'd see how much energy he had when I played on his line. So I just gradually kind of got on the same page as him, and took a little bit of notes from what he does. And every morning, Petey would get up and he'd be going, and he just wouldn't stop. So, for myself, I just, I enjoy sometimes having a burger or going from there. But as you get older, I try to, eat things I know that I'm going to benefit from. So, young guys, I'm sure I played with a Russian guy, Nikita Filatov. All he would eat was McDonald's. So I don't think it's going to benefit you as a hockey player.
Sounds like my diet, the 7 cheat days a week plan. But going forward, like, have you been with teams like affiliates that have sent down like nutritionists and the strength and conditioning coaches that are coming down later in the week too?
Well, yeah, when I spent time in the American League, you had, your strength and conditioning coach would advise you what to eat or what to eat after a game, especially to regenerate your body so you could play the next night.
That's good to know. So have you, as someone who's one of the more experienced guys, taught some of the younger players on the team anything about that?
Oh, I mean, I'm living with Kale Karbashian, and funny story, he was gonna cook a stir fry the other night, and he had a measuring cup out, and he asked me and my girlfriend if you put this much rice in there, and he was gonna fill the whole thing up. He said, "Will that be enough for a meal?" I said, "Kirby, that'll be enough for an army." So no, I don't know. I mean, guys are, it's professional hockey. Guys are pretty much on a straight and narrow. That's why they're here. They know what they have to do to be a professional athlete.